Welcome to Yin Practice for May. The practice this month is going to focus on hips and back. And I think it would be helpful to have a blanket, which I'm going to start the practice on by sitting on a blanket. It's comfortable and it just gives a little bit of lift to the hips. So if you don't have a blanket, a big beach towel or bath towel would probably work. And also a couple of blocks. So, as you just heard in the background is a Tibetan bowl sound, which will ring every minute, and that will help me and also let you know approximately how long you've been in the pose. So, some of these we're going to hold a little longer than others. Shoulders back and down. Just take a moment or two, couple of breaths here to just arrive on your mat. Applaud yourself for being here, doing something for yourself. All right, so let's start with just a little bit of neck work. So take an inhale in center here, long spine, shoulders back and down, and on an exhale, drop your left ear to your left shoulder. So options here, you can extend the right arm down. You'll feel a little difference in the stretch. Lift the chin a little. Another option is to put a little weight on it by kind of hanging onto the crown of your head here and just draping your arm. So if that's too much, you can just release it. And now just tuck your chin a little bit and notice the change in the stretch. Feel free to move this right hand around wherever you feel you need it. We're just doing this for a minute, so we're almost there. Keep your breath even and steady. And there it is. Slowly let the head come back to center. Exhale, drop right ear to right shoulder. Again, you can extend the left hand down, find a place where it feels right, lifting the chin just a little bit here. And then if you like, you can also add a little weight, just increasing the stretch, but be really aware of how your neck feels. It just feels like a little too much for me today. So I'm going to keep my left hand down. And then again, just nice even breaths. And then tuck the chin a little bit. Now noticing the change in that stretch. Just a couple more breaths here. Just bring the hand back. And then gently let the head come back to center. Tuck the chin here. Lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the chin. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the chin. And inhale, just simply bring it to neutral. Nice. From here, we are going to get onto our hands and knees. Please, I encourage you to cushion your knees as much as you want here. I'm well cushioned, but I'm still going to go with a little bit more. So my blanket's going under my knees. Take your right foot forward into a lunge. Take a hand to either side of your foot or either hand in a block. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee and set it a little deeper. And we're in a low lunge. So really nice hip flexor stretch here. And now breathe. So you can keep your hands on either side of the foot, or another option would be to come up onto your thigh, or maybe just one hand on your thigh. So I'm creating a little bit of pressure by resting on my thigh. And then breathe. We're going to be here for a little bit. So try to relax. On the exhale, try to give into gravity a little bit. Keep your breath long and slow. And as you stay in the pose, it's just you notice different things happening. You might feel the stretch in a place where you wouldn't expect. Try to find stillness. Deepen the breath. Sometimes a deeper breath helps. So you're looking for a nice deep stretch without being in pain. Just a few more breaths here now. Give into gravity, just let go. Nice. Pull your hips back to come out of this pose. And then pull the right foot back. Sink into child's pose and just rock that child's pose from right to left. Just give yourself a little release in the hips before we go to the other side. Nice, come back up. Bring the left foot forward this time. Curl the right toes under. See if you can lift that knee and set it back a little deeper. Track the left knee right over the left ankle. Relax the shoulders. 2 minutes here. So again, you can rest on your thigh. That seems to be the most comfortable for me. Another option would be to bring yourself right up with shoulders over the hips. Puts a little more strain on the low back. So you really want to feel a therapeutic type stretch. So where you might say ooh, but not ow. So if you're feeling pain, that's your body telling you you need to make an adjustment. Yin yoga is designed to get into the fascia of the body. So try to use as little muscle work as possible, just let gravity do its work. We've got another full minute. Really great stretch for the iliopsoas muscles, which are really important to stretch out if you've been doing a lot of sitting. So big stretch on the hip flexor on the right side. And a little bit of strength on that muscle on the left side. Stretch on the right. Just let gravity, every exhale, let gravity do its work. Deep, long breaths. And there it is. Nice. Pull the hips back gently. Pull the foot back. Drop into a child's pose. And just shift the hips from right to left. Just kind of get a release in the hip there. From here, we're going to go to the triceps and the shoulders. So blocks could be handy for you. I'll show you the pose without the blocks first. So let me set these on the side for a moment. Walk your hands forward. You want to keep your hips stacked right over the knees, and the arms are come as far forward as your body allows. And then bring the elbows to the mat. Make sure that the elbows are in front of the shoulder. Prayer hands, drop your heart, and drop the hands behind your head. Point the fingers towards the heels of your feet if you're able to. Sink your hips back a little bit. Notice the stretch in your triceps. Firm up the belly a little bit so that you're not getting too much arch in your low back. If you're not feeling quite enough, that's where the blocks would come in. This will increase the stretch using blocks. Elbows on the blocks, hands behind your head, drop your heart. Again, firm up the belly a little. Nice long back for another full minute. Every exhale, see if you can let go a little more. Breathe. Shoulders and triceps, long back, drop your heart. Just release the hands forward. Let the hips come forward. Come back up onto your hands and knees. And just sit back for a moment and give yourself a hug. Nice, and especially if you haven't had a hug in a few days. Switch the hug. Very nice. Sphinx pose, with or without the blocks. I'm going to move the blanket out of the way. Come onto your forearms. Walk the knees back, let the hips drop to the mat. Bring the shoulders back and down. So options here. Elbows can be directly underneath the shoulders. Elbows can be forward of the shoulders for less of a stretch. So you have to decide what's right for your back. Let the legs just be nice and easy. Just let them hang out. I'm going to go here. If you're still not feeling enough, you can come right up onto the blocks. So that will increase the angle on your low back. So make sure that you're picking an option that's right for you. Again, it's ooh, not ow. Let the shoulders ride down your back. And think about, it's a little too much for me today. I did a lot of gardening, so I'm going to bring it down. Think about pulling your heart forward rather than how high you are. Keep your gaze forward and keep your shoulders back and down. Let your legs relax here. Keep widening across the collarbone and just a soft touch on your mat. More important to think about inhale, pulling the heart forward a bit. And then breathe. It can be a challenge mentally as well as physically. So really be careful not to collapse in the shoulders. Keep the shoulders back and down. Almost there, just a few more breaths. Two more breaths. Nice. Spin the elbows out to the side. Make a pillow with your hand. And then bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet from right to left. Relax your shoulders. And then release. Take a breath or two right here. And then slowly bring yourself back up. So, we're going to go into cow face legs. I am going to bring the blanket back in. And I'm also going to grab a block. I have a lot of trouble with cow face legs. It's a pretty strong stretch on the hips. So if you know that you can do it without props, more power to you. But if you have trouble with this particular pose, doing it this way might allow you to get into the pose where you otherwise may not be able to. So, and if you just know that you can't do this, just find a nice comfortable cross-legged position. So starting in a kneeling position, I'm going to take my left knee, tuck it behind the right. And then from here, I'm going to separate my feet as much as I can. And then I'm going to grab the block and slowly roll to a seated position. In my case, I need the blanket and the block to get to a seated position. You want the knees stacked right over each other and the shoulders back and down. So we have the right knee on top. We're going to reach forward and take the right arm under and around into eagle arms. So a little shoulder work here too. Let your hips get heavy. If you're able to, go ahead and fold forward. Some of you might be able to fold all the way forward, laying the arms on the floor, or maybe you can rest on your knee or your thigh. I'm going to go there. The added pressure, if you are resting on your thigh, the added pressure might get a little intense on your hips. So see how you do. Try to stay with it. Remember, you want to feel the sensation strongly in your body without being in pain. So tune into the sensations that you're feeling in the body. And then see if you can find stillness and allow yourself to simply breathe. Nothing wrong with sitting back up if it gets too intense. Let's try to finish this minute out. Deepening your breath can really help. Focus on the breathing, focus on the sensations you're feeling in your body. If you fold it over, let yourself come back up to a seated position, unwind the arms, and then bring your hands back to the mat and roll yourself forward back onto the knees. Take that left knee, bring it forward. Grab a hold of your block again. Take the right knee, tuck it behind the left. Separate the feet as much as you can here. So the more you separate the feet, the stronger that the hip stretch will be. Have your block handy. See if you can sit down. If you have trouble reaching, then put the block underneath your hips. And don't be surprised if one side feels a lot different than the other. So we got the left knee on top. We're going to reach forward. The left arm is going to come under and around. And now just breathe. So this is a lot more intense for me on this side. Eagle arms, you want your shoulders to round. You can lift the elbows a little bit. If you're able to, lift up and fold over as deep as your body allows. You can rest on that thigh if you like. And then just breathe here. Once again, if it gets too intense, fold it over. Just come back up to a seated position. If you're in any pain, make an adjustment. Let's try to go one more minute. Keep moving the breath in and out. Focus on the sensations that you're feeling in the body. And take your breath wherever you're feeling that sensation the most. So in this pose, it could be your shoulders, it could be your hips. We're almost there. There it is. Come back up to a seated position. Release the arms. Bring the hands back to the mat. Roll back forward onto the knees. Take that right knee, bring it forward. And then come back to a child's pose. And once again, just rock from right to left. Try separating the knees a little bit and just rock your child's pose out here. Taking a couple breaths here. Good. Grab your blocks. Nice. From here, knees together. Curl all 10 toes under, and then simply sit on the heels of your feet. So a little foot stretch here. Try to have the shoulders stacked right over the hips. And I have the blocks here just to give me a little relief. We're not going to stay here real long, just till the bell rings, so a full minute. If you're able to, go ahead, bring your hands to your heart. It can get really intense on your feet. That's why I have the blocks. You can also just lift up out of it for a moment and then try to sit back down. Putting a little pressure on the blocks just gives me enough lift that I can handle it here. Pretty intense. Really good to take care of our feet too. You know, we walk around on them all day, and there it is, grateful. Come forward, release the toes, and then sit back in hero pose. Blocks can go to the side. From here, we're going to do a camel variation. So the hands are going to come behind your hips. And on an inhale, think about lifting the sternum. Bring the shoulders back and down. On the exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So you can tripod the fingers here. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Head can stay in line with your neck, with your spine, or you can let the head drop back as in camel pose also. Only if it feels okay for your neck. I love it, so mine is going there. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Lift and squeeze. Stretching the neck, the thyroid. Every inhale, think about lifting the sternum. Every exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Oh yeah. Too much on your neck, you can just bring it up. Lift and then squeeze. Lift and squeeze. Almost there. And there it is. Gently let yourself come forward. And we're going to end the session in a supported child's pose. So take your blanket, fold it once. So here's what's going on here. I'm going to fold it lengthwise. I'm going to open my knees wide. Put my blocks end to end. And I think I'm even going to go a second time. So I got a lot of cushion here. I'm going to lay it over my blocks. Bring it in close, nice wide knees. And then simply lay yourself down and take a supported child's pose. Deep, long breaths. This is where the pillow would come in handy if you chose to grab a pillow before we started. Let the hips get heavy. Let the shoulders be relaxed. Soften your jaw. And just breathe. Remain here for as long as you like. Maybe turning the head to the other side and resting here for a little bit, because you'll notice you're also getting a little bit of a neck stretch. So let's stay here Just finish off the minute. Deep, long breaths. So again, remain as long as you like in that position. Thank you for practicing with me, and I'll see you next time.